The Easter Bunny. The Easter Bunny is a story written by a member of this website named Pete. It's about a man in a bunny costume who kills people and kidnaps children. In 1949, a man in a bunny costume was commonly seen wandering the neighborhood of a small town in Fairfax County, Virginia, and watching children that were at play. When any children talked to him and asked who he was, he told them he was the Easter Bunny. He would always stand out there on nice spring afternoons and watch the children until they went outside, so he can find out where they lived. At night, he would break into their houses and hack up their parents with an axe. Then, he kidnapped the children and disappeared into the night. After a while, when all the kids in the neighborhood had disappeared, the police finally connected the murders and kidnappings to the strange man who had been seen posing as the Easter Bunny. However, he proved to be elusive. Nobody knew who he was or where he lived. Shortly afterwards, however, the Bunnyman was seen again in another neighborhood in the daytime. But when police responded, he was gone. The police decided to do a night patrol to try and catch him. Sure enough, the man in the bunny costume was seen heading towards a house. He was holding an axe. The police pulled their car over and heard him singing, "Here Comes the Easter Bunny." Hacking up all the parents I can, hippity hoppity, bloodshed's on its way. They yelled for him to freeze out, but he ignored them and kept on walking. They got out of the car and warned him to put the axe down or they would shoot. Instead, the man charged at the police, swinging the axe above his head. The police had no choice but to shoot him. Their bullets ripped through his costume, and he fell to the ground. Emergency services were called, and the man in the bunny costume was pronounced dead on the scene. The police tore off his mask and looked at his face, but they didn't recognize him. Nobody knew who he was, and they were never able to identify him. Another problem was that with the Easter Bunny dead, there was no one to tell the police what he had done with all the kids he kidnapped. One day, two fishermen were down by the bridge when they heard a bunch of children crying. They went to investigate and found a shed underneath the bridge. The door of the shed had a big padlock on it. They could hear children inside screaming for help. One of the fishermen stayed there and tried to calm the kids, while the other ran off to get to the police. When the police arrived, they fetched bolt cutters and broke the lock, letting the kids out. Then they searched the shed and discovered a bunny costume and all kinds of weapons. The police concluded that this was the secret hideout of the Easter Bunny. They cleared it out, took everything into evidence, and then had it demolished. A year later, the mayor wanted the town to forget about the Easter Bunny ever existed. He banned the celebration of Easter and outlawed the sale of Easter eggs. Over the years, the story of the Easter Bunny Man became an urban legend, prompting thrill seekers to venture over to the bridge where his shack once stood. It was a common dare among teenagers to venture out there, especially on Halloween night. Those who dared to go often would report seeing a figure standing in the tunnel with an axe in its hand. If no figure was visible, any teenager, brave, stupid, or drunk enough to go inside the tunnel would be caught in a blinding flash of light. When it cleared, their hacked up bodies would be hanging from the top of the bridge. The Bunnyman's ghost was rumored to be the cause of this. They say he also roams the nearby woods, chopping up any teenagers he finds in them. Every year on Halloween, the cops try to keep thrill seekers from going to the Bunnyman Bridge. Since there is a railroad on top of the tunnel, it is illegal to wander around on top of the bridge or loiter around it. If the cops will give you warning to get out while you can, you must do so. If you value your life, please obey them. Unless, of course, you want them to tell you the true story of the Easter Bunny.